What's up, nation? Really appreciate you guys for being part of this episode. First and foremost, got to say this. Tony Pollard and Gregory will be playing this Sunday. Now, keep in mind, we had a short week because we played on Monday night. Coach said, hey, based upon your performance and all of the good things that you guys brought to the table, we give you the Tuesday off. Then you had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and of course, Saturday. So here's the situation. You don't want to overwork your guys. You want to award the guys that quote unquote played their you-know-what off. Not saying that you elevate one and don't elevate the other, but it's a short week. And for those who need time to heal, those who need to get some things going together as it relates to time, Coach may have gave them a little longitude and latitude to not come into practice. Now, according to the rulings and things like that, you got to list reasons why. You know, you just can't not show up to practice. And I could be a million miles off from it, right? I'm not an insider guy, but just from a logic speaking, these boys needed some time. We played against a team that had an ample enough time to prepare for the Dallas Cowboys, and we can't sleep. We can't sleep on the Panthers. But we can look at it and still look at the evidence on how they played against other teams. The evidence meaning that support your theory to say we should go out there and dominate. It's a home game for us, so we don't have to travel. We at the comforts of our own home. The stadium should be loud. On top of that, the teams that the Panthers beat, we can remove the Saints off of it, but we can talk about the Texans, who had a rookie quarterback to play. And also, they played against another rookie quarterback out of Zach Wilson, who played for the Jets. And the Jets been the Jets, basically. They going through a lot, new coaching philosophy and a whole bunch of things. So I'm not sitting here discounting the Panthers win. Shout out to them. They 3-0 for a reason. But you got to look at it. They're 3-0 because of their schedule. And, of course, they didn't say, okay, give me these three teams for the first teams to play. You know, no. The NFL makes the schedule. You play the game. That's how this thing goes. That's how it always been. But as an analyst, you look at it and say, okay, what was the level of competition? What happened in the course of those games? Did they blow out those teams 40-0? Was it a struggle? Was it a tight game? I come in to tell you, you can look at the Texans game and you can say, all right, cool. That game itself, when you break it down, yes, the Panthers flew out to the ball. They played aggressive. But I want you guys to look at that drive. Davis Mills, right before the halftime. That boy was moving that rock easily on the Panthers defense. That's a rookie. That's a rookie. So I can only imagine what Dak Prescott is going to do against that same team, the Panthers, at home, with more knowledge of the game than a Davis Mills. And on top of that, on the flip side, I'm not sitting here calling this thing a luck situation, but I'm calling it a spade a spade. Sam Darnold was trying to play basketball with the football. They was knocking the ball out of his arm. They was really putting pressure on him. It just, I'm not going to call it luck of the bounce, but the ball bounced back to him. So those plays were not viewed as such that to be that negative. But he was playing basketball with the football, and I'm quite sure that the Dallas Cowboys creating pressure on our end. We'll figure out a way to put pressure on Sam. And there were some passes that it was very questionable. And I'm quite sure that I trust my matchup with Trayvon Diggs versus a DJ Moore. Shout out to my dog, Terrence Mitchell, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to LSU and everything. And they got some young guys out there that's hungry. Shout out to the tight end over there on Panthers land. But we're hungry. We playing with a chip on our shoulder. We playing with something to prove. We playing with that mindset of saying, okay, bring it. We right here. We ain't going anywhere. We right here. Y'all know how this thing goes. Now, my keys to this game is still the same. Time of possession. Score early and often. Quick tempo, right? Run the rock with dual threat running backs, meaning that dual threat as it relates to Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard catching the ball out of the backfield. Put a little mixture of Tony Pollard running in between the splits. Oh, excuse me, the number one defense in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers. I don't think that they seen any Ezekiel Elliott and a Tony Pollard. Let's just put that down as a reference point, because I know, I get it. I feel what a lot of people are saying. Well, they're the number one team and their rushing defense flies up to the ball. Well, think about this and hear me out. Don't crucify me, Cowboy Nation. But people were saying the same thing last week. Hey, you can't run on Philly. You might can throw it, but you can't run it. Look what they did to the 49ers and all of these things. And all we seen was a balanced approach. When you balance, there will be a situation and opportunity where you can gain a legitimate rushing attack. Because you can't sit here and say, okay, we're going to load the box and expect Jackson on one side and CJ Henderson on the other side and your safety, who got to cover a lot of grass, to stop that passing attack on a consistent level. And I'm not even talking about Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin running verts in the middle of the field. So you got to pick your poison. And I'm not sitting here banging on my chest saying that the Cowboys offense is just unstoppable. There are certain situations and scenarios whereas they can be stopped. But looking at this game plan, if you try to load the box and you sit there and say, okay, we want to stop the run, then we pass. And if you try to play coverage, maybe a cover two deep safeties, have a lighter box there, I say, then you can have the same ability to run the rock. So you got to pick your poison, how you're going to die in this situation. It can be death of 1,000 cuts, or it can be one big play down the seam or vert to open this thing all the way up. And from the mindset of what Kellen Moore like to do, it seems and it appears from listening to Dak Prescott, they like to start this thing out fast and they like to get this thing locked, loaded, and ready. And he trusts, and listen to his last interview. He said he trusts his players. He trusts his players. He do. And I'm talking about Dak Prescott. Conditions. He trusts his players' conditions. So when he see the opposing teams huffing and puffing, he know. Because he can gauge his guys. That goes a long way. That's a veteran mindset to have, by the way. Especially if anybody ran track or anybody ran marathons or long distances. You know, it's a certain grunt that the opposing player or the opposing opposition gives you, and you say, okay, that bear's on their back, regardless of what they do. I know for sure I got them. And I got a lot in reserve to kick it at the final stretch. And that is the game plan of the Dallas Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, balance of power. We're missing some of our guys. They're missing some of theirs. So I'm not sitting here saying that just because we're a little bit healthier, that this is a guaranteed W. No, it's a any given Sunday, baby. But the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, just got to stay locked, loaded, and ready. Defense got to stay hungry. PhD mentality. If you don't know what that is, that's poor, hungry, and determined to make things happen. And that is the mindset of Randy Gregory. Oh, excuse me. That is the mindset of Michael Parson. These boys are ready. And J-Ron Kirsch, let's not sleep on him. So these boys are ready and not discounting any of the Panthers. No. I'm not discounting them at all. But they without some of their majors. CMC, C-Mac. It's going to be a hard situation. Now, Chubba, he ain't nobody to sneeze at because I like his running attack. He's aggressive. Don't catch that well out of the backfield. He's a north and south runner. Maybe they can get some lead and some gangway going. But they got Cam Irvin over there. And Cam, you better be ready. That's all I'm going to say. So it is what it is. Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts. Post me your 3 to 4 keys to victory. You don't have to post all 5 or 6 of them. Just 3 to 4 keys. And when we go live, we'll talk about them. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's go.